Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel so easy and fulfilling, while others leave you feeling anxious, distant, or even disconnected? What if I told you that the answer lies deep within your childhood? That the patterns we establish in our early years have a profound influence on the way we form and navigate our adult relationships? Yes, your attachment style, something that you may not have thought much about, could be shaping every relationship you've ever had. So let's dive into the fascinating psychology of attachment styles and discover how they influence the way we connect, love, and even hurt. You may be surprised to learn that attachment theory is not just a fancy psychological term. It's an incredibly powerful framework that shapes your entire emotional life. It explains how our early relationships, especially with our caregivers, affect the way we interact with the world as adults. Whether we realize it or not, attachment styles influence our ability to connect emotionally, trust others, and feel secure in our relationships. If you've ever found yourself feeling anxious when your partner doesn't respond quickly enough, or maybe you've pushed someone away just when things were starting to get close, your attachment style might be playing a major role. But here's the kicker. Your attachment style doesn't just shape romantic relationships. It impacts how you relate to your friends, your family, and even coworkers. How you handle conflict, emotional closeness, and vulnerability is deeply rooted in these attachment patterns you developed as a child. So, how does all of this tie back to your childhood? It's simple. The way we were treated and loved in our early years profoundly influences the way we view ourselves and the world around us. Your caregivers, whether they were emotionally present or neglectful, created a model for how you should behave in relationships. If you had a caregiver who was always there for you, meeting your emotional and physical needs, you were more likely to develop a secure attachment style. You learned to trust others, ask for help when you needed it, and give love without hesitation. On the other hand, if your caregivers were unpredictable, emotionally unavailable, or sometimes even hurtful, you may have developed an anxious or avoidant attachment style. Your brain learned that love was inconsistent, so you developed coping mechanisms to deal with that. Either you became clingy and needy, constantly seeking reassurance from others, or you became distant and self-reliant, convinced that no one could be trusted with your emotions. Let's break down the 4 primary attachment styles and understand how they develop. Secure attachment is the holy grail of attachment styles. People with secure attachment feel comfortable being close to others and are confident in their ability to be loved and cared for. They're not afraid of vulnerability, but they also don't need constant reassurance. Their relationships are balanced, full of trust, support, and affection. But how did this style develop? Children with secure attachment typically have caregivers who are consistently responsive to their needs. Their parents are nurturing, reliable, and emotionally available, so they grow up knowing how to give and receive love without anxiety. Anxious attachment is characterized by a deep fear of abandonment. People with anxious attachment often feel insecure in their relationships, constantly worrying that their partner will leave them. They might come across as clingy or overly dependent and need constant affirmation and attention. Children who grow up with anxious attachment often had caregivers who were inconsistent, sometimes loving, sometimes distant. These children grow up feeling uncertain about the reliability of love, which translates into a need for constant reassurance in their adult relationships. Avoidant attachment is an emotionally distant attachment style. People with avoidant attachment value their independence and often struggle with intimacy. They may push others away or avoid emotional closeness, even if they want connection. This style typically develops when caregivers are emotionally unavailable, unresponsive, or even neglectful. These children learn that they can't depend on others for comfort, so they become self-reliant and emotionally distant as adults. Disorganized attachment is often the most complicated and confusing. People with disorganized attachment show inconsistent behaviors. They may want closeness, but they also fear it. It's as though they're torn between the desire for connection and the fear of being hurt. This attachment style often develops in situations where caregivers are both a source of comfort and fear, such as in cases of abuse or trauma. As children, they don't know how to handle this contradiction, and as adults, they may have chaotic and unstable relationships. So, how do these childhood attachment styles impact your adult relationships? Securely attached individuals tend to have healthy, balanced relationships. They're emotionally available and open, not afraid of vulnerability, but they don't expect their partner to fulfill all their emotional needs. They're independent yet connected. They can be intimate without losing themselves, and they trust their partners without feeling anxious. On the flip side, anxiously attached individuals often feel insecure in their relationships. They might need constant validation and feel overwhelmed by the fear of being abandoned. They often interpret neutral actions, like their partner not texting back immediately, as signs of rejection, even if that's not the case. This can lead to constant reassurance seeking, jealousy, and sometimes over-controlling behavior. Avoidantly attached people struggle to get close to others emotionally. They often push their partner away even when they desire intimacy because they fear being vulnerable or dependent. They may seem emotionally distant or cold at times, and they may have difficulty expressing their needs or emotions. They may value their independence more than they value intimacy, and this can create a barrier in forming deep connections. People with disorganized attachment have chaotic relationships. They crave intimacy, but they're also terrified of it. They may act hot and cold, pulling their partner close one moment and pushing them away the next. They may struggle with trust issues and have difficulty managing their emotions in relationships. Their behavior can be confusing, even to themselves. The way you attach to others doesn't just influence your relationships, it also affects your mental health. People with anxious attachment may struggle with anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Those with avoidant attachment may struggle with emotional regulation and feel isolated or disconnected. And people with disorganized attachment are at a higher risk for post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, emotional dysregulation, and unresolved trauma. When you don't have a secure attachment style, it can make it harder to build trust and form meaningful connections. You might find yourself trapped in negative patterns of behavior, feeling like you're not worthy of love, pushing people away when they get too close, or always seeking validation from others. Now that you know how attachment styles shape your relationships, you might be wondering, can I change my attachment style? The answer is yes. Healing is possible, but it takes time, effort, and self-awareness. The first step is recognizing your attachment style and understanding how it affects your relationships. From there, you can begin to challenge those negative patterns. Here are some tips to help you build a secure attachment style. First, be self-aware. The first step to healing is recognizing your attachment style and how it affects your relationships. Ask yourself, do I feel anxious or avoidant in relationships? Do I struggle to trust people? Next, work on trust. Building trust is crucial. Practice open communication and let your partner know when you feel insecure or uncomfortable. Trust is built over time and it requires vulnerability. Embrace vulnerability. If you tend to hide your emotions or push people away, it's time to let down your guard. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with people you trust. It's uncomfortable at first, but it's the key to building stronger connections. Seek therapy. If your childhood experiences left deep emotional scars, therapy can be a great tool to heal. A therapist can help you explore your past, understand how it's affecting your present, and provide you with coping mechanisms to improve your relationships. Build healthy relationships. Surround yourself with people who are supportive, empathetic, and trustworthy. The more you practice healthy communication and emotional openness, the easier it becomes to build secure attachments. Our childhood experiences shape more than just our memories. They shape the way we love, the way we trust, and the way we connect with others. Understanding your attachment style is key to improving your relationships and your emotional well-being. The good news is that no matter your attachment style, healing is possible. With self-awareness, therapy, and a willingness to grow, you can create the secure, healthy relationships you deserve.
Remember, your past doesn't have to define your future. By healing your attachment style, you can change the way you connect with the people around you, and most importantly, the way you connect with yourself. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and join me on this journey toward emotional growth and healthier relationships. We'll be diving deeper into understanding human behavior and attachment, so you don't want to miss out.